Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian. I'm here with Allison, and this is Maintaining Frame number 161. And they're saying we're radicalizing men, where we're going to be looking at a cavalcade of cringe from bedroom feminists who grew up, supposedly. At least, technically, in terms of Earth years, they are older bedroom feminists, but they're still basically teenage girls. So.
Yep, and they're now on probably the payroll of the Department of Homeland Defense. So there you go.
For sure.
Or the CIA.
USAID money.
Yeah. Some US alphabet agency is no doubt slipping them.
Or UN Women. UN Women gets
UN Women, USA,
too. Yeah.
Homeland Defense, CIA, FBI now. I guess there's no I thought they had different jurisdictions.
MI6.
Yeah,
Mossad.
MI6. You know, getting the real stuff out there, making sure that men don't realize that they deserve a society that actually cares about their issues. God forbid, huh? God forbid. All right. So before we get into it, I guess I should do. Your voice is a little bit rough, so maybe I should do more work.
Yeah. I'll heal. I'm not sick. I just damaged my vocal cords yesterday from yelling. I was frustrated. So
it happens to the best of us. Certainly. I don't know how I get so frustrated on this channel, and usually my vocal cords are fine because I'm screaming pretty hard at this nonsense. Oh, okay. I'm not going to squirrel out on you guys. I'm going to keep focused. So if you want to send us a message, please go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip to do that. That's the very best way for you to send us a message. You get a little more space to elaborate on your commentary. And that commentary doesn't go through YouTube's comment enhancement system. And we get the full benefit of whatever funds you send. So feedthebadger.com/justthetip. Send those comments and questions, criticisms, whatever you want. Chorizo wants to make some basic bitch feminist commentary. Go ahead. Feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And if you would like to support the show, I do have the fundraiser open at feedthebadger.com/support. Very important to get that done so we can continue to bring you this content, which I still think is unique. I know that you were saying that Andrew Wilson gets more attention, but I think that there's a difference. There is going at this from a conservative perspective or promoting conservative ideas and then just promoting, let's care about men. That's it. That's the only political position I have. We need to care about men if we want to continue to have a functioning society. That's it. But regardless, so if you want to support that message, feedthebadger.com/support. If you want to support the upcoming meetup, feedthebadger.com/events to do that. Very much appreciated there. And again, want to join our community, badgernation.online. And I think that's pretty much all the things that's available in the low bar if you're on the horizontal, and wherever low bars are found on the vertical in an nth dimension that can only be accessed by arcane magic. So just get on the horizontal and go in the low bar, and you can find all of that stuff and pick your poison and do it. Because, trying to build a community that believes that caring about men is not evil. All right. Speaking about a community caring about men not being evil, let's
get into it.
The coven. The coven.
So here we go. We got the three fates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you want to call them. What were the witches from Greek myth?
Yeah.
That all shared an eye, and they were like, "Give me the eye." You remember that from Clash of the Titans? Three blind women?
No, I remember that. There was also the Norns in
the Norns. I
don't know. I feel like those characters, those mythological women, are a little bit more respectable than.
Yeah, I was trying to find some evil women though. That's why I picked.
Maybe the
Three
Furies.
Blind hags. The Furies.
The Furies. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they will relate to that. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah.
So we have three different tastes here. We can look at Bryrony Claire, the basically straightforward My Little Pony of communist women. We have Drama Queen, the AIDS goth girl, as I like to think of her, and then we have Rainbow Shite. So a queer queer Kiwi. Yeah, I think they're all Australian chicks too. They're all from the Upside Down.
Oh, good Lord.
So
Yeah,
I think
picture
so.
brightly covered frog.
Yeah.
But brightly colored frog, not covered. I guess covered and colored. Oh man.
So what do you want me to start with? Do you have the preference? Anybody? I mean, we got to do all of it anyways. What I did was I tried to find the 3 top time codes for each video, so we're not like dragging this out. So I don't know.
Yes. Well, you know what? Let's just go with Bryrony.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, is she the worst, or I mean, can we rank them?
I don't know. You want to make like a tier list?
Yeah.
I am working, by the way, I am working on bringing back feminist bingo in a way that's a little bit more interactive. So,
Yeah.
you know, follow back. We might have to like create like a separate website to make it work, but there's a way. I'm looking into it right now. So feminist bingo could be fun for these kinds of response videos.
Oh yeah.
All
right.
Yeah. So let's so this is Bryrony Claire.
Ranks. Yeah, Bryrony Claire.
Yeah,
what do we rank feminists on? Rankness?
I don't know. It's a tier list. So, but I don't know what the top tier means. Is like the most, you know, woke,
Offensive,
most feminist,
most woke,
egregious, and
you
then
put
like
them
at the
all in
bottom
a
is the
room,
most moderate.
which could out intersectional the other.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I mean,
yeah.
they're
The
all
most
white
intersectional,
women.
the most progressive.
But they're all white women. So I'm pretty sure that Bryrony is a lesbian, maybe a lesbian separatist.
I think they all claim to be queer or non-binary or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Queer Kiwi, of course, that would be non-binary. Yeah, it's difficult. Like
politically gay.
Send us a message how we should rank these people. If you have any opinions on where they rank. I mean, are they S tier feminists?
Least to most insufferable?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's pretty fine distinctions. I mean, it can be the microscopic levels, like subatomic levels of insufferable to find the difference. All right, well, let's just start with Bryrony.
All right, let's start with Bryrony Claire. So her video is
Bryrony.
Bryrony, yeah.
Bryrony, yeah.
Okay, really want to be different. Okay. So AI deepfakes. Oh, wait, did I get a super chow before we get started? We did get a super chow. I should read it.
Oh, cool.
Okay, awesome. So Piri, this was early this morning, like 5 a.m. my time, gave us $50 and said, in your stream, Texas flood, Diddy slips out of trouble, HBR News number 510, you mentioned the White House's concern about men. This because we covered the White House statements of men on yesterday's show as well. This reminded me about a political speech that was recently made in Sweden. The speech is too long to fit into this window, so I'll publish it in English and as a comment on the mentioned stream above, so you can read it on a stream. Maybe I'll read it next time or something.
Yeah, maybe next time. It's a pretty long one. I looked at it.
Did you see it?
Yes, I did. It's basically how do we stop men from checking out of society while continuing to tell men that they're of no specific worth,
no
as
real
men
value.
There was
no real value. Hatred show of a British guy doing that too. It was like Lord something. He had like a name out of like a Roald Dahl book. Can't even remember. It was like Lord Hufflepuff or something. And, he had a similar statement, but
boys are wastes of space.
Yeah, waste of space. Yeah, that was it.
How do we make them not wastes of space? How do we make them?
Women just have to say they won't date them if they continue to be wastes of space. It's like, dude, are you new here?
How do we beat men to death, men and boys to death emotionally, while still having them realize that we deserve their efforts in order to maintain whatever herp, right?
Yeah. Okay, but to finish this guy's super chow, he says, my YouTube nickname is Apladning. It seems like people are starting to notice men's issues on at least some scale now. Well, it's getting to the point where they can't ignore it like they used to ignore it, and now they have to address it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm encouraged by that, because it is unavoidable, and it's also very validating because it's going. I mean, that means that the people who are against this stuff are going to become louder and more of an obstacle, but that's okay. You're going in the right direction because you keep running into enemies. It's like the law of video games, right? So anyway, So this video by Bryrony Red is called AI Deepfakes to Dolls. Guys don't need your permission anymore. Okay. So let's play the beginning just so we get a sense of what this is about.
AI is here to serve the male ego. We've already had great video essayists talk about how AI models tend to be molded after women, young, beautiful, voluptuous, skinny women who are there to perfectly serve men. People have spoke about the issues of companies naming their AI and service robots after women who then also have women's voices. Scarlett Johansson has famously been someone who's not only been targeted to leak their personal images, but also to create deepfakes of them, but also her voice allegedly being used to train OpenAI's voice for Sky, I believe it was. They approached her asking for permission to use her voice, but in my opinion, and my little conspiracy theory mind, is they'd already done all of the training and then they asked her afterwards.
Okay. We're just pausing for banana.
Yeah, just playing it safe. But
women more desirable, women more socially desirable,
stage.
Women more most affected.
Yeah, so she's setting the stage. Essentially, she is already telling us that she has a bias because she's saying, oh, Scarlett Johansson was approached to like be the model, but I think they already did, like they had no intention of getting her permission because they already did it, which is stupid because they did get her permission and likely paid her pretty well. And she likely went along with it because she is paid to, you know, for her voice and her acting ability. So, but of course, if a woman does anything for a job that may please a man in some way, then she obviously is not choosing that, and that's just oppression. I mean, is it possible that Scarlett Johansson was the model because she's popular and men like her? And I mean, women probably like her too, you know? So,
well, like I said, women socially desirable, women wanted for a particular role, women, corporations want to pay women most affected. Okay, let's
yeah, okay. So I could play the rest of this a little intro bit and then we'll get into the other two. So
fits far too well into the tech bro space of move fast and break things. We're going to be talking about so much farming in this video, lots of talk of corn and eggs. There is a whole bunch of this video I will not be able to share on YouTube because they love to demonetize people that talk about the issues of stuff, as happens to me all too often. There's an entire chapter of this video which
103,000 subscribers. Yes, you got it bad.
Yeah, you certainly do.
Yeah, you should basically be the next you know, like Tom Brokaw. But anyway.
Right. Okay. So what we have is this feminine woman standing in judgment of masculinity, basically, and what men do. Tech bros are why you can sit your ass there and we have a reasonable amount of prosperity now. Honestly, that's like you are sneering at the people who are the men who are primarily responsible for our economic prosperity. And it's just, we're living on the fumes, don't get me wrong, because of women like this condemning and shaming and causing men to turn away from society or just shut down. We're living on the fumes of the innovation of a tech bro, probably the ultimate boss tech bro, which was Cloud Shannon, and nobody knows about him. And he was the one who invented the foundation of binary communication, like binary signaling. And he invented the foundation of the prosperity of the late 90s, basically, and that we've been coasting on that for 25 years. And the reason why you can sit in your comfortable environment talking on a tech bro product is because tech bros existed. And when you read about Cloud Shannon, he reads like a boy if he had been born not in the 30s, or born in like the 20s, I think, because or 10s. If he had been born now or even in the 80s, he'd been on ADHD drugs, which means instead of developing his ability to move fast and break things, leading to our overall prosperity with his innovations, he would be drugged into compliance and no doubt shamed into abandoning his approach to the world and having any interest and curiosity about it. This is why women like this, shaming masculinity. So if you want to know why we're going into a severe economic down spiral, it's not to do with anything to do with the government or either party. It's because we have destroyed our disruptors. Those men who would be creating the new hotness that would be driving the economy, the new products. Where are they? Well, they were drugged into oblivion. They were shamed into oblivion. Thank you, Bryrony Claire. You make the world worse by existing.
Okay, I'm playing more.
Yep.
Definitely can't include on here. So that's exclusively available on Patreon. And if you ever do want my ad-free, uncensored, director's cut versions of these videos, hop on over to Patreon. The link is down below. And when it comes to how AI are presented on screen, it's not always done in the best way. I would really recommend going and watching this video from Final Girl Digital. Like, we've got such an issue, especially when it comes to women, of enjoying or capitalizing off our own sexuality. You know, of their own autonomy and volition. People hate the OnlyFans workers.
The thing is that what you talk about people hating women's autonomy. Meanwhile, you're shaming men pursuing sexuality that has nothing to do with you. Like, this has nothing to do with you. If men create a sex bot, men create an AI, and then pursue that, that has nothing to do with you. Ladies, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no relevance to your life, except men apparently have gained sexual autonomy, which you say men have a problem with when it comes to women. But this OnlyFans is not sexual autonomy. You still need men to give you money, right? If you want to cheat, you still need a man to cheat with. This is not sexual autonomy. It's just sexual bad behavior. What you mean is making sexual choices that harm others that you don't want to take responsibility for. Now, OnlyFans, I don't know. Like,
I think she's trying to have her cake and eat it too. What a shocker.
Yeah.
So it's basically like when women sexualize themselves for money, it's good because women are doing it. But those bad men judge them for it, which is, again, bullshit, because some people, women included, do judge or criticize women for being sex workers or doing OnlyFans or whatever. And a lot of people also don't care or they support it. So it's not black and white, but she makes it black and white because she has to somehow make the argument against AI as a substitute for women by like problematizing it, while not essentially like alienating her pro sex work audience, like the part of her audience that is that. It's like, that's what I'm saying. She's trying to walk this tightrope. How do I criticize this thing that's sex work without criticizing sex work or the sex worker?
It's not even
pro sex work people. I know, but it doesn't matter. That's how she frames it. That's her framing. We're talking about her framing.
Scarlett Johansson being the model for AI isn't sex work.
No, I know, but
and then she has a problem with that, but not a problem with OnlyFans. Well,
yeah, because she's not allowed to have a problem with OnlyFans because she has an audience of women who have different opinions on, like, you know, what is acceptable and what is not. And so she has to somehow have an opinion and not upset anyone. So this is how she's doing it.
Well, of course, upsetting men is free.
No, I mean, not without upsetting her audience, which is women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without upsetting women, basically.
Okay.
I mean, even if men were not upset by it, she wouldn't care. So, you know, there are probably men who are in her comments that are like male feminist types, and they're just like, "Oh, you go, girl," and other women saying, "Shut up, man. You know, we don't care what you think." So,
yeah. Okay. Well,
anyway.
Yeah.
So we can jump to the next time code because I'll listen to the rest of her point here.
Paid for something which should be able to be gotten for free. Well, they're working, so they should be paid for their work, just like you should be paid for your work, right? But this is just your entitlement and societal shaming talking, which has created this whole disgusting misogynistic mess. And yes, egg work is a whole other topic unto itself. I would even recommend you go and watch this video from very old video from Philosophy Tube. It was made like 6+ years ago at this point. Sydney Sweeney, someone who men absolutely adore and have claimed that finally women are women again. She's
I have no idea why. What is it about Sydney? What is it about Sydney Sweeney that men find so
plus years ago
appealing?
at this point. Sydney Sweeney, someone
I could not for the life of me put my finger on it.
It's pretty mysterious.
Even if I wanted to, which I do. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
who men absolutely adore and have claimed that finally women are women again. She sold soap containing her bathwater. And people say that this cheapens her, but these are the exact same people who would quite happily watch deepfakes of her, right? Or would be interested in a
Well, that's a big assumption though.
Also, that's a biohazard.
Yeah, I mean we don't know
You're
if
not
it's true.
you're not allowed to actually send stuff like that through the mail. But regardless, you don't know if those two groups of people are the same. And also, why is there like this constant war against any criticism against a woman? And but wait, if it's a woman like me, we're fair game. Funny how that works. Okay, let's go to the next time code. This sounds like she's just
she's just saying, "Oh my God, double standards! It's so bad." Oh, okay.
No,
So
but it's not double standards because they're just opinions men have on women. They might not be the same when.
Why isn't everyone the same?
Because life isn't convenient like that.
Also, I like that she says this Philosophy Tube video is very old because since that video, Philosophy 2, I believe, transitioned. So how do you address that without saying, you have to basically be like, look, guys, I know you're about to see a man in this video, but I promise you this is an old video and I'm not doing this to dig up anything, you know? It's like me going like, I want to watch X-Men 3 again, even though I really don't. But it's got, what's her name in it? Ellen Page.
His name, Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, yeah, but Ellen Page, like back then, or if I played
it
Beyond Two Souls, like I mean, can I play that game? I don't know. But anyway, so next time code is talking about the environmental and ethical impacts of generative AI.
Between Japan and Russia. And most countries aren't like us here in Aotearoa, where a majority of our electricity is from renewable resources, between 80 to 85%. For the world to survive, we need to have massive decreases in energy consumption, particularly fossil fuels if people are ever going to be able to survive. Planet's dying and generative AI has its foot to the floor. And companies are
yeah, go
All
ahead.
right. Fossil fuels is like Karen puts it out, is plant food. So we don't care about any other forms of environmental degradation, including the real big one that no one talks about, which is nuclear
Women's
war.
consumption? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, women's consumption, but also nuclear war. Of course, we don't talk about women's consumption. But what about nuclear war? That is the end of the earth, period. Well, I guess maybe it'll recover in like a million years. But, I mean, why don't we talk about that? And war usually happens when economies go south. When people start competing over resources, that's not an issue, is it? It's got to be the plant food, not the toxins that we put into the environment, getting the EV, the electric vehicle batteries, or the additional toxins that coal-fired plants that are used to actually run those EVs create. No, it's just plant food. Plant food. Yeah, maybe the waters rise. Maybe we all drown. But the plants will be happy, and then the earth will recover very quickly. But if we have a situation where our infrastructure melts down, or we end up into a nuclear war as a result of economic collapse, that's going to end the earth. So it's like proportionality. Yeah, I guess we could be slightly concerned about the plant foods. Who knows? Maybe the plants will get so much carbon dioxide, they'll turn sentient. And then they will want a nuclear arsenal because they'll want to be considered their own independent nation and be respected or something. But until then, we're worried about plant food and we ignore all of the other potential hazards that are much more likely to destroy the earth. But anyway, I just find it interesting how people sort what they care about.
Yeah, it's almost like they really actually don't care about it, and this is actually
Yeah.
just about control. I mean, like she's making I'll keep playing the clip, but she's essentially just using the environmental argument to essentially say, and so this is why men can't have AI girlfriends.
Mhm.
But that's kind of like that's where this whole thing goes.
Okay, well,
It's
that's
like,
definitely
okay,
interesting.
men shouldn't want women because that's sexist. Men shouldn't want to be alone or away from women like MGTOW does. That's also sexist. Men shouldn't like necessarily commit to one woman, so he's not a problem for every other woman, but only like, you know, in a relationship with one woman because that oppresses that one woman. And men also should not be consuming pornography or having an AI girlfriend because it's going to destroy the planet. Notice how all roads lead to men can't have it. Notice
Mhm.
that's kind. So it's almost like if you sat them down and said, here's why your argument against the environment is wrong. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to control men. That's it. That's all this is. Everything is just a pretense to get there. You do what I say. Why? Because you're going to destroy the planet. So ultimately, it's just do what I say.
Mhm.
You know. And of course, hopefully, men are not doing that. But anyway,
Mhm.
let's listen to more of the clip.
Capitalizing it and using the objectification of women and this sense of entitlement to further their own gain, creating bots which are better than real women because they can't say no. In 1974, Maria Abramovic created Rhythm Zero, an art piece where she was the subject. And people could choose from a table of things of what they wanted to, quote, do to her. They could give her a flower
I
or
don't see any sandwich ingredients. That's not a real art project. Where's the bread, ham, cheese, like olive, mayonnaise?
This is not fucking art.
Yes, it is. They said so. It's an installation. She's an object, Allison. Don't you see how deep it is? Don't you see how deep this is?
She's just
Abramovic created Rhythm.
Go ahead.
this is I just don't understand this mentality. It's one of the things that make me think that maybe I'm not a woman. You just push yourself out there to be like, oh, I'm making a statement. I'm being a victim because I'm a woman. And right at the basis, the very foundation of that entire concept is your association with your sex and victimhood, which you never challenge. Ugh. Anyway.
All right.
Rhythm Zero, an art piece where she was the subject. And people could choose from a table of things of what they wanted to, quote, do to her. They could give her a flower or they could use a knife. As this Guardian piece reports, the performance lasted 6 hours. At first, her audience was passive, but then as time went on, they turned violent, with people using the objects to cut into her skin, rip her clothes, stick a knife between her legs, and attach a piece of paper to her body that read vile. Surrounding the table at this exhibition, there were photographs of what happened at the exhibit. They show predominantly men playing with the objects, touching Abramovic's body, ogling and laughing at her with her friends, as she stands there alone, tears filling her eyes. Well,
what were the photos that I saw? Okay, who's the name of this woman? Yes, artistic men apparently are very violent.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, what
Is
kind
this
of
a
men is
statement on all men?
this attracting, this exhibit?
Yeah. What does doing this do? And the other thing is that those pictures didn't indicate anything. She's being very careful with her language. You see men fondling the objects, and this dude is just looking at them with extremely tight pants.
Well,
And
70s. Marina Abramovic, Rhythm Zero or Rhythm O, shows why we still cannot trust people in power. This is a Guardian article, I guarantee it. I can tell by the way it's written. It's a Guardian article. But I guess you're looking it up. I'm going to play the video again.
Knife between her legs and attach a piece of paper to her body that read vile. Surrounding the table at this exhibition, there were photographs of what happened at the exhibit.
so they show predominantly comment on her art, and she called it vile. Like, did she actually become injured from this?
No, they put a paper on her that read vile, Allison. That's basically getting stabbed in the chest. It's the same thing.
with the objects, touching Abramovich's body, ogling and laughing at her with her friends as she stands there alone.
I mean, isn't the point of observing art to look at it? What's the difference between looking at something and ogling at it?
What are these dudes doing that's so horrible? I think one is like maybe cleaning a wound, and the other is
you know, there's like dudes that like wear like gold paint all over their body, and they like pretend to be statues in public. And they do it, I think, for money, basically. But like, is that also like, are they like, what's the difference? Except that those guys are not getting paid. Probably she got like millions of dollars for this installation or performance piece by some like, you know, rich curator that had some money he needed to launder. And those guys are just on the street, like wearing like gold or silver paint. But anyway.
Yeah, the other thing is that how do we know that she didn't attract a bunch of like sadists? I mean, she's basically giving pre-consent to this activities.
How do we know that she isn't herself a masochist and that did that like on purpose? Like, what if she's getting something out of this? It was the 70s. But anyway, okay, a little bit more and then we'll move on to the third time code.
Oh, she asked for it, right? The rhythms explore the tightening of rules in an authoritarian society, but also what it's like to be a woman in a deeply misogynistic culture. But I mean, if the opportunity is there, you can't expect people to not go and do the worst things, right?
Oh, wait. Faced with her abdication with will, with its implied collapse of human psychology, a protective group began to define itself in the audience. When a loaded gun was thrust to Marina's head and her own finger was being worked around the trigger, a fight broke out between the audience factions.
Yeah, I have serious doubts about that. Somebody walked into an art museum with a fucking gun with the intention of getting her to, unless it was a toy gun or something, maybe, or a prop.
Yeah, but
one of the props that was on the table.
In this retelling, it's playing the pronoun game. Visitors, audience, one person. Where does it say that men did this? And those photos don't indicate that men were part of this. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
Well, I'm going to go to the third. That's the end of that section. Okay.
The audience members were aware that there would be no consequences for their actions. Then they're flipping idiots. Any person who walks into this installation thinking, "Oh, I can do whatever they want," no, law still exists. She's not able to subtend that. Okay.
All right.
Very interesting.
Nervous.
You're not supposed to talk. Just show me how you feel.
Dolls, the upgrade that men need from nasty women. AI gives people the tools to create.
I've had guys say that the reason why they want to get like these dolls is because they don't want to have aggressive sex. Like they find when they're going out and they're dating women want them to be more violent and aggressive than they are really comfortable with. But if they want to have any kind of affection or a sex life, they have to abide by women's expectations in the bedroom. Well, and there are guys who are not even necessarily going to get a sex doll, but they're like, yeah, this would be a feature, which is that, you know, no hair pulling, no choking, no aggressive physical altercations, you know, just something gentle and loving. That would be an appreciate. I think that people would be startled what actually happens with these sex bots and men. I think they would be surprised. They would be surprised that what men actually want is somebody to talk to them and listen to them and to have a loving, intimate, comforting situation with, rather than this hysteria, which incidentally, she's painting this about all men, right? She's not just saying there's a subset of sadists who are a subset, but they're a subset. There's also a subset of female sadists. She's saying this about all men. And this is how men will use sex dolls. Well, maybe they won't use them in this way. Maybe the average man won't use them in this way because the average man isn't a sadist. Have you considered that? And then she uses something from a feminist writes a man, and then she uses that fiction to prove how men are. It's so freaking infuriating. Like what? Look, okay, let's go to let's find the biggest misogynist on the planet who writes a woman, and then we'll film that woman doing things, and then we'll make a video about how that woman represents all women. Right? Not even going to the whatever podcast and listening to actual women talking about their preferences, talking about their ideas, talking about their life. Let's not actually listen to actual women, which we're also not supposed to do when we criticize women. No, let's go imagine something and then criticize that. Like what this is offensive. And the fact is, I don't know what to say. Women like this get so much attention from other women. They sure as hell represent women's voices more than I do. So what do I say to men? This is more likely to be the average woman. Someone who will take something written by a feminist and say, this is men. Like, feminists don't write men. Feminists write stereotypes. Really nasty, bigoted stereotypes. And then this woman looks at those nasty, bigoted stereotypes and says, yep, this is proof that men are like that. No, it's proof that you're a bunch of bigots.
Yeah, I mean, the point of all of this media, and I'm starting to think most media in general that makes it into the mainstream, is to paint a picture of a twisted version of reality so that academic types and activists can point to that twisted vision and say, that's reality because I see it around me. This is why Bryrony Claire, for example, and a lot of other feminists do this online, they always reference work that essentially backs their bias, but it's always like fictional work like Mad Men. So, and yeah, I know we can get into like what is really about, but that's not what people take away from it. It's only these little sound bites and snapshots that go out into, like these like talk pieces and essays. And even if you get that enough, even if you sat down and watched it, it wouldn't even penetrate if you weren't like really thinking critically. So, but anyway, so we're getting to a section where, basically this quote summarizes it. AI gives people the tools to create that personality, but in a number of cases, male users who have been interviewed by various media outlets have said they prefer their robots to not speak at all.
Well, do you want your dildos to speak? Like really? Maybe they just don't want to be distracted from the experience, or maybe they don't want it to resemble actual human interaction.
Or what
because
if
they want to save that
like robots
for
that
actual
talk
humans?
are too expensive?
Or yeah, maybe robots that talk are too expensive. What are you trying to say about that? Until you guys, like ladies, are okay with dildos who express men's issues, that's what we should do. Brian, that's it.
We can make, who makes
We need to have a campaign.
Madam Savvy. We can put little chips and little speakers in them and maybe like, program it with an AI that basically gives men's issues talking points while you use it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sure that'll be a turn.
Women are disrespecting men. They are using dildos, and those dildos aren't interacting with those women and expressing male viewpoints so that they can learn to be sympathetic to men. That's what we need to do. We need to start a petition to make sure that all female dildos come pre-recorded with a bunch of men's issues, perhaps testimony from men who have been sexually assaulted by women. That's what they should be hearing when they're using them, because they need to have consciousness raising. They need to become good people So we should bring that into their sexual
That could
experiences
be on
and
the
make
box.
sure that women are
Become
shamed
good people.
every time they use these dildos, shamed and realizing that they're subhuman for breaking men down into parts and not recognizing the whole humanity. And also, come to think of it, what do dildos teach women? They teach women not just to break men down into parts, but that male sexuality should always be available to them, which is obviously a part of rape culture. So in order to fight rape culture, we need to put those dildos, we need to install voice synthesizers in those dildos, and we need to make sure that every time a woman's going to town, she gets an earful of some man suffering for women's behavior, sexual aggression towards men. Like, nobody talks about that shit. Like, I'm doing that satirically. You know, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it's necessary for people to be informed of sexual issue, like sexual assault with their sex toys, or to look at their sex toys in terms of teaching them to appreciate the whole human of the opposite sex. But if we're going to go there, let's go all the way. Let's do it to women too. Huh? Good grief.
All right,
Can you
next
imagine
time.
that? Like talking dildos?
I'd rather not.
Personality, but in a number of cases, male users who have been interviewed by various media outlets have said that they prefer their robots not to speak at all. When one company added a new AI feature to their robots to enable them to make more realistic conversation, some owners chose to switch it off because it made their dolls seem different from what they imagined. In other words, the more that companies made dolls that seemed to have minds of their own, the less their male users seemed to like them. Of course, some male users would argue that turning off imperfectly rendered voice technology enables them to maintain their...
What?
It's a fantasy. Like, do
Men
you
are not
again?
allowed to have fantasies, Allison.
Are we
like-
going to insist that women have dildos with realistic male personalities so that they learn to respect men or men's independence from their sexual needs? Like, this is absurd. It's a freaking, it's a sex toy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was the last time code on this. Remember, we have 2 more videos to get through. So,
Yes, I don't need to see any more of this.
yeah, I think we get it, right? She goes into
Because she's
deep fakes later
aggravated.
on, and how essentially deep fakes are like, I don't know, assaulting women somehow. Like if you say, oh, I want to put, I don't know, name like a hot celebrity. I want to put her face on this like AI girl or this like simulation. And yeah, I mean, even if they're fictional, like you can put Lara Croft or Tifa on somebody you want to bang, and she of course thinks, because the thing is that she doesn't want women to lose any of their sexual leverage over men, and so like all of these things that get introduced, I think they lower the leverage, and that's what she wants to hold on to, and that's what women are worried about. I mean, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on to AIDS goth chick?
Yeah, AIDS goth chick. Let's do it.
All right. So here we go. This is Drama Queen, and she has.
Actually, wait, there's
called-
one thing I should say before we go on. Female fan artists have done all kinds of things to male actors. And now you have a problem with these deepfakes. Like with their art. What's the difference? It's just an artistic expression. Okay? Using the likeness of somebody that you are interested in sexually. And believe me, women have done a lot of that. Are we supposed to start condemning that too? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is Drama Queen, and she has a video called "No, Your Husband Doesn't Own Your Body." Ooh, I can't wait. Okay. So we'll just start with the opening, just like the other one.
I don't give a damn what beliefs you subscribe to in your private time. You will not force dangerous beliefs and agendas upon the younger generation of girls, people in general, who currently
Stop raping
don't
men
really
and
have...
boys. Ladies, stop raping men and boys. Full stop. Just do it. Like, this is what's infuriating. They all come from a flawed premise that women do not have to take their share of responsibility for sexual assault. That's where it comes from. And this is why I always go back to this, right? This is the fulcrum on which all of this rests. The idea that women and girls do not have to take as much responsibility for sexual assault as men and boys. There is very little solid evidence that this is the case. And there is getting to be more and more evidence that the prevalence of sexual violence towards men and boys is high, and a lot of it is being done by women and girls. And then there's also evidence that the abuse of boys by women is the primary causal factor for those boys, and a minority of those boys at that, to go on to abuse others. So the fact is that they start from a false premise, and everything that flows after it is bullshit. It's controlling abuse. This woman has absolutely no basis to say something like, don't teach the younger generations of girls. Yeah, you know what? You're already teaching girls a falsehood. And that is, they don't have to take responsibility for their sexual aggression, and that they are uniquely victims of sexual assault. Both are not true. You're already starting off from lies. So you have no basis to lecture anybody else. But no doubt she will. So.
Yeah. All right, let's listen to the rest of this. We're still getting the established. So her shtick is that she's really like ranty and yelly. So, and women like that, it's like, that's why she looks like something out of a, you know, if you order like Rocky Horror Picture Show on Wish.
That much of a direction in life just yet. Getting married doesn't suddenly mean you surrender your autonomy to the person you said I do to. It's a marriage. You're not going to cash converters and buying a PSP and sign.
What? Oh, I think she's complaining about the trad wives who say that their bodies belong to their husbands. Well, that's their choice, lady.
I mean, I don't know if they even say that, but she probably would assume that they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
it's a surrender or like a submission, maybe, but
their husbands' bodies belong to them, apparently. Like they're supposed to become one flesh in God. So that's their thing.
If that is what she is talking about,
And the funny thing is that I don't know if Australia actually recognizes women raping men as a problem in law, or
probably not.
Probably not. And this is what's freaking hilarious. People like this will assert that we know that men have to take more responsibility for sexual aggression. And yet, as a civilization, we are in the first baby steps of recognizing women engaging in sexual aggression against men. You know, we're just starting to recognize this is a problem. And we've already pre-decided that it's less of a problem than something we've recognized as a problem since millennia. Right? No. Mm-mm. We don't know. And it's looking like women and girls do a significant amount of the raping. That's what it's looking like. The numbers are coming in. You know, we started to look, numbers are coming in. And I'm sure Kiwi, well, I can't say I'm sure Kiwi, but I would not be surprised that if there's a reason why she's assuming or forcing the world to only recognize or mostly recognize that rape is something that men do. It's a perfect cover, perfect camouflage, shall we say, for a certain type of woman. All right, let's
keep going.
Signing it over and being like, okay, yep, that's mine. It's not a dad signing his daughter over as if she's property. It's not even a man taking control of his newfound property. It is agreeing to come together, form yourselves as a union.
You know what? Okay, so like the father giving away his daughter at a wedding, like giving the bride away, that never implied that he was the property or she was his property. He was responsible for her and he has authority over her. because he is her father.
Yes.
And so what he's doing is he's basically saying, okay, now you're taking the responsibility. It's not just you own her, you know? So, but okay, yeah, like this is, again, like I said for the first video, guy wants to, you know, date women and maybe like sleep around with lots of women, hates women. Guy wants to avoid women, hates women. Guy wants to have an AI girlfriend, hates women. Guy wants to marry a woman and just like be in a monogamous relationship with one and start a family with one. Guess what? Hates women. Wants to own her. There's no getting out of it, because the purpose of it is to complain until society is completely unraveled. That's the purpose. That's the dialectic. That's what we're in. There's no logic to it. It's just about unraveling our civilization by bitching. So that's it. Yeah, more like she's your problem now. Yeah, basically. I mean, that's another way to look at it.
All right.
So let's keep going.
Spend the rest of your lives together respectively, if that is so what you two want to do. It has nothing to do with one handing their body over to somebody else.
No,
Because
it doesn't.
these
Why
days-
are you inserting yourself and making it about that? Like
She thinks everyone else thinks that, or men think that specifically.
yeah, this is the funny thing. They are screaming at projections in their own head. I have stereotyped this activity in this manner, and now I shall scream at how horrible my stereotype of this activity is. God.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Next time code. So let's yeah. This apparently she's gonna say that there's a dismissal of consent in marriages.
Absolutely not. Like, catch me never getting married if that is the fucking case. And furthermore, encouraging this mindset towards the younger generation of girls and women is so
What's
up.
the
You are
mindset?
not allowed to refuse to get physical with your spouse. And look, I do not have to get my wife's permission to get physical with her.
Because you have cretinous men hiding in the comments.
Yeah, but they
of
also
these
say the same thing about women. That's what he said. You do not have to get your spouse's permission. Bitch, that means women too. Okay, it is equal. Now screw off. There is no inequality to be found here.
You can take an issue with that statement that guy made, but you can't gender it.
No, you can't gender it. You are gendering it because you are obsessed with female victimhood, which is his own toxic mentality. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Look at her. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
TikToks comparing a grown woman to a child that, by the way, has pretty much no authority over themselves because they are a kid and they need to be kept safe. Just like your parents own the responsibility of you as a child until you became an adult. But being an adult
what is
means
that woman saying? What is the statement on that video?
TikTok on the
Yeah, on that
yep.
TikTok.
Just like your parents owned the responsibility of you as a child until you became an adult. And it says, my future husband owns me and my body. So, okay, so this is
Did your
response
husband
to this.
consent to having you say this and then throw this shit into the public sphere?
No idea.
Like, honestly,
Well,
now
maybe
he's going to get shit.
What if this
No,
is just
listen, wait a second. This woman is making a part of her life with her husband public. And she is opening him up for condemnation and potential censure and whatever else comes of it. For what? TikTok clout? You know, I see a problem here. It is her. Why is she throwing this into the public life? If they have decided this, why is she painting a bullseye on her husband in order to throw her weight around on TikTok? That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, I think this is just more intrasexual competition. I think this woman is essentially like bragging about how she is so, I mean, assuming that she's not like that she believes what she says about being the property of her husband. She's so comfortable with that, like that she doesn't have anything to worry about, that he will take care of her and protect her and provide and all that, that she can like post it online, and other women are getting angry at her for that, and they're trying to problematize this. So this really doesn't have anything to do with the men. This is women fighting with other women, and their men are the ball.
Yes,
In the words of
men have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And the fact is that nobody like did the husband say, yeah, you can throw me out here like this. You can say
She probably didn't ask him. I mean, that's
no,
I
probably
mean,
didn't ask him. Didn't even
probably
think
not.
to ask him. And incidentally, if you really are a surrendered wife like this, what are you doing on TikTok? Painting bullseyes on your husband's back for clout. What are you doing? Like,
What are you doing?
Get rid of this idea. I think she's turning this, like you said, she's turning this surrender into intersectional competition between women. Like, instead of it being about her relationship with her husband, it's about her relationship or her one-upping other women while sacrificing her husband's privacy and well-being. If anybody decides that he's like a rapist or a sexual assaulter, what do you think that's going to have blowback on him? Did she even think about that? Apparently not. This is why surrendered wife language, I understand Christians use it. Respecting your husband's vulnerabilities, I think, is a much stronger statement and a much more constrained expectation to place on men. Before you throw your personal life out on the internet, maybe run it by your husband, because he's part of it and he might be hurt by it. Recognize how he can be hurt. She's not just a dispensary of dominance and authority. He's a person. Anyway.
Yeah. I push back a little bit on this being a Christian thing, because it's vainglorious to
you're right.
Like make these claims, you're boasting, and that's not that's vainglory. But anyway, so we'll just do a little bit more of this, I think.
Adult. But being an adult means that absolutely nobody has authority over your body. It doesn't matter how many times you want to dye your hair, get your body pierced, you want to wear that dress.
You're wrong. The state of every state on the planet has authority over men's bodies. 100%. You know, we could talk about, there hasn't been a draft. There will be one if it's necessary. As we see in the Ukraine, there will be a draft. If the state sees that it's necessary, it's always on the table. They never take it off, right? So you are 100% wrong, lady. If you're a man, the state has authority over your body, right? And also, the state has authority over... They has authority over men's bodies, and for no reason, like not as a result of anything that they've done, because the state also has authority over your body if you start using your body to hurt other bodies, right? So the state gains authority over you if you engage in criminal acts, but men don't have to engage in criminal acts to have the state dictate to them, their immediate future for whatever, and throw them into a situation that could get them killed or seriously harmed, right? And this is something that has never really been legally challenged. We'd have to write it in the Constitution to pretend it, probably. And nobody does, because states always want to have that option to go sacrifice a bunch of men to solve political disputes. And this is what's so infuriating. Women like this lecture the one group of people that has effectively no bodily autonomy about bodily autonomy and how they're taking it away.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, woman.
Okay.
Or if you want to go the opposite route and you want to wear some slacks and a polo, up to you. That's your body. That's your choice. You're allowed to say no to whatever the fuck you don't want inside your...
Well, she's just saying...
Wittering, is there another time code? Because I don't...
Yeah, the last one. I got the last one. So I want to give her a chance to say something.
This is noise.
Yeah, it's like all three of these are noise. All right, here we go.
Spewing that as quite literal gospel, because it isn't. I'm sorry, but I feel as though too many times I see people making this kind of argument because the book said so. I don't care what the book says because I don't follow that way of life, and
Okay,
a lot
good.
of
You
other
don't
people
follow that
don't
way of
as
life.
well.
Stop shaming it. Goodbye. Like, why does she have two sets of eyebrows?
I think those are supposed to be like eyelids. I don't know, man.
That's odd. Like, I mean, she trying to look
It
like a
doesn't
spider? or
mean
something?
that
No, I mean, she's supposed to be spooky and like apparently is into animal prints. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know when this was cool, but it's not now. So
people are in the wrong for that, or they're going to burn in hell for eternity. No, it's simply just extremely outdated. You are allowed to not want to have sex for a period of time, regardless if you aren't fasting, regardless if you're not on prayer. You can deny sex at any point because you are the boss. You are the owner of your body. Now, does this mean that you should aim to be in a sexless marriage? Absolutely not, because cold hard truth, a lot of times it's not going to work out that way. But if women were made to feel a lot more comfortable saying no at times, to be quite honest, I think that there would be more sex in marriages. And I say that because everybody has a right to deny what they don't want to do in that moment. It is
all right, that's kind of like her. Okay, sure. I mean, funny. Can men say no if they don't want?
No.
And isn't it assumed that if you marry someone, you want to be intimate with that person? I mean, like, I'm not. Again, she cherry picks a clip. I don't know what the context is. Uses that to go on her whole tirade. I can't speak to that because I don't know what the whole context is. But I can tell you that in most marriages that are happy, like people are fine being intimate with each other in whatever terms they feel like. So, okay. Do you have anything to say about this? This was the last time code for this one.
I'm just there's
Fighting with
somebody
the vertical
who's
chat.
yeah, I'm fighting with the vertical chat. There's an individual named Minnie Moon who is I think communist. She's read Poverty by America by Matthew Desmond. Well, here's the problem. Right? How do you incentivize productivity? Money doesn't make you rich. It's the productivity of your neighbors that make you rich, or at least give you access to things worth buying. Right? So if you stop incentivizing productivity, nobody's productive, nobody has anything worth buying. And we all descend into poverty, which is pretty much what's happening now. So you solve that conundrum, communists, and then you might have something. All right, let's is this the end of this? Because she hasn't really made a point. Except, bodily autonomy except for men.
Yeah, that's basically
We don't care about that.
The whole video. That's basically it. All right, let's go on to Rainbow Shite then.
Yes.
All right. So again, we'll play the intro. Let's see here.
Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. And today I am joined by someone whom we have been.
I just want to say really quick. This channel has almost 500,000 subscribers. I think Bryrony Claire should have more because I think she does more work. I will say that. I mean, if we're gonna rank them, this content is the Temu goth chick is probably like the worst in terms of like the substance. It's just like, I'm mad. I put on makeup. I yell at the camera about women and men, and then I'm done. This chick just like kind of just, well, you'll see. It's just really, I don't know. It's like, it's waffle. It's just waffles, and she's got like half a million subs. It's like completely undeserved.
Yeah, well, I guess that she's the C tier. Bryrony is the S tier because of effort.
She puts
Crazy.
sources in all of her stuff.
But yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I mean they're all communists of different stripes. Don't get me wrong, but but like at
Yeah.
least Bryrony would be like, if you lived in a world where you did get paid for your work, she would do some work. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I just want to do a shout out. feedthebadger.com/just the tip if you want to send us a message, and we will get right on that like white on rice. So feedthebadger.com/just the tip. Get those comments in, guys. Don't just hang around the special chat poking the bear or their bearina, as it were.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Planning to collab for a really long time, and we have finally made it happen. And that is, of course, one topic.
Literally calling me out. I get it, okay? I didn't respond to all your messages. I'm sorry. I tried. We've been trying to organize this for...
Oh my God. I don't know who this is, but it's giving Vosh. And that's a bit worrying.
Low rent Vosh.
Oh
Okay,
my
do we have to
God.
listen to low rent
Look,
Vosh?
are those fucking stuffed dolls in the background? Is that merch?
Yes, that's
Dude,
merch of him.
Guy's quite the capitalist communist.
Oh, good Lord. Also,
okay.
This is a red flag, ladies.
Purple.
If you're
It's a
wondering.
purple flag, actually, but yeah.
If you have purple flag. Okay. I mean, he's probably just a narcissist, not a sociopath, but yeah, that's a bit of a red flag right there. Okay, let's keep do we have to listen to more of him?
Well,
Can I just make an executive
they're
decision?
setting the topic, Allison. We need to know what the topic is.
I
Because the
can't-
video is called "Are the Straights Okay?" with one topic at a time.
Is he a straight?
Great value, Vosh. Yes.
Great value, Vosh.
Timu Destiny. What was that, Allison?
What, sorry?
Oh, I thought you froze.
No, I didn't phrase. I just was contemplating the special chat. All right, let's go. Let's
right.
just do it.
for practically 3 years now. And if as I scroll up our Discord DMs, you're like, hi, I'm ready. 2024. Hi, I'm ready. Hope you're doing well. The end of 2024.
Being like, hey, do you want to do this? Yes. When's good? Nothing for like 8 months. And then, wait, we were talking.
we're
Do we
supposed
want
to do
to?
video last season.
But we finally made it happen.
Yes, I'm here. I'm excited.
We're
You
finally
gave me
here today.
Give me a cheeky little preview of what we might be doing today, and I'm excited.
We are looking at some memes and things from, of course, r/Are the Straights Okay? Which is always really fun. I think everyone in there is really normal and just like really.
What? Are the Straights okay? Is okay. I'm gonna take as writ what she says. I haven't seen this, but I'm gonna take it as writ. She said everyone in there in this Reddit is really normal. So, like, first of all, Reddit and normal, I don't know that those have a lot in common. Sorry, but this particular Reddit, are the Straights okay? Let's find out what her definition of normal is, because I'm a bit concerned.
Really okay.
There's some like based opinions, to be honest. Yeah.
What is like really fitting for the
The word based has lost all meaning.
current time is this person who posted, if straight men were smart, they would come to Pride to meet women. And I just don't think that that is quite the right.
For
advice
half
to
a
be giving
second, I
people.
was like, well, there are women there. And then the other half a second, I thought, well, a lot of them are gay.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the ratio is going to be that. I don't know if it's going to work out. They might meet.
Actually, well, first of all, no. Even if they're straight, you don't want to be friends with them. But a lot of straight women go to pride parades, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think anyway. Alcy, you're still fighting with these people.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what's going on? What are we talking about? The special chat now, or are we doing this video?
Yes. There's a no. Okay, you're right. I'll focus.
All right.
I'll get down to business. The business.
Yeah. Let's get down to business of defeating the Han. 435. Isn't that how it goes? I actually never saw Mulan.
Yeah, that's.
But okay,
I think it is get down to
goes like
business.
that. Yeah, yeah. All right.
To defeat
Bi-
the
the
Han.
Han. Bisexual lighting. Okay, so now we are going into. Okay, yeah. Let's play from here.
Oh, you're the worst. Like, okay.
I just to point it out to you.
No,
What?
I'm just mocking her laugh, the forced laugh.
Yeah, a lot of straight women go to Pride to prey on men,
Yes.
gay men, to
Yes.
like because straight women or just women in general, because I mean lesbians, I've had lesbians like be very forceful with me when they're drunk. They suddenly become straight, is what I'm saying. So I've had that happen because I used to live. There was a part of Chicago close to the lake, and people called it Boys Town. It was originally a gay community, a gay neighborhood, but then because it was mostly just gay men, that because gay men they're pretty good with money and they tend to like make good money, and because they're with other men who also make money, they just combine their money and they're just doing really well. So it was a pretty affluent area. I lived a few blocks away from there because I worked at this paint shop that was on one of the streets there, and I lived in a little studio apartment in the area. And so because of that, a lot of the people who were my neighbors were gays and lesbians. And lesbians moved into the gay area because they just were like, well, we belong here too. And a lot of them didn't make as much money, so they lived in like the little apartments. Anyway, when I had some lesbian friends, and and I had gay friends too because I lived around them. But the lesbian friends, when they got drunk, they got really handsy and they got really aggressive. I remember one Halloween I dressed up as Dracula, and just Dracula. It was just generic, like suit, nothing fancy. And we were in a cab getting driven around to various bars, and they were getting really forceful. So what I'm saying is that at gay areas and at gay pride, lesbians and straight women can get pretty aggressive towards men. And I think that that's worth pointing out. So maybe not what the claim is, like, hey, if you can find girls, I don't think that's good. But if you're a gay man and you're at a gay event, you should probably also avoid the women there. So
Yeah. Oh, Chorizo says, oh no, grabby women. Yes, well, there are some men in our audience who don't appreciate random sexual assault from women, as you might. Yeah. But, other men prefer boundaries.
I like how you assume that that we're not supposed to have a problem with it because they're women and we should feel lucky. But
is that bio role? Is a bio truth there? It smells like a bio truth.
Yeah. Did you do the white face Dracula? Yeah, I had like the pale. I was going full Bela Lugosi is what I was going for, because a lot of people, they do vampires and they're trying to like do it like in the new kind of Anne Rice bullshit, and I was like, yeah, but Bela Lugosi was creepy, or what's his name from the Hammer films, like those Draculas were scary. I like that more, like Christopher Lee when he played Dracula. So anyway, are the straights okay? We were talking about this.
You are the one who asked the question, and no made you do that. And a simple solution.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're scratching a line in the cake with their thumb. I zoomed in. Enhance! Look at that. Look at the cake topper where his hand is grabbing the cake. Have you ever seen that before? I've only ever seen someone dig their fingernails in, not also their thumb.
That's wild. Huh. Yeah, digging their thumb in is really fun.
Artistic choice.
It does make it look like there's too many fingers.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay.
Chorizo said Bella Lopez. That's actually clever. You're going for Bella Lugosi? Bella
appreciate
Lopez.
it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as clever as I thought it was.
I mean, it's fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's B tier cleverness, wittiness, maybe C+.
Yeah.
F. I didn't even get a shot. You didn't even get a shot.
I didn't. I shaved and stuff. It was years ago. I was like 26.
Ah.
So it was a long time ago.
I'll have you know that Brian was extremely good looking.
It was literally like the year 9/11 happened. That's when it was.
Yeah.
2001.
26? You were
Yeah.
26 then?
I was 2000. I was 26 in the year 2000 and most of 2001.
I learned a couple of days ago that there's actually a generation starting at 1977 to about like 1983 called the Zillennials. Now,
Really? How?
Yeah.
Oh, XL. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that apparently I'm a Zillennial, not a Gen Zer, which go figure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Honestly,
next
they're not
meme.
really saying anything. Like so far, I have not heard a single point. We're
They're,
being
they're reacting
lambasted.
to memes. I don't know.
We're being lambasted on the special chat for not addressing the substantive meat of the three witches arguments. That's
Can someone help us summarize it? Apparently, we don't have good media literacy.
media literacy.
What is the substance of these videos?
I hate people
What am I
throwing
getting
money.
wrong? Yeah,
That's
I
why
used to
I'm
have
like
long hair too.
focusing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm focusing on the special
Dude
chat
is-
because this person is throwing around the term media literacy. And I know what they mean is you're not saying something that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
You haven't come to the conclusions that I expect, etc. Okay. Do they get to a point?
It's them reacting to memes. I don't know that there's a point. This is why I'm saying like this. The Queer Kiwis content is probably like the lowest tier. It's like I don't know, like it's like the skibbity toilet brain rot of feminist content. It's the brain rot, yeah. It's just we're gonna look at memes, and I got 500,000 subscribers. Like that's 5 times, isn't it? Manifestel at like 200,000, so she's like more than double the same amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's shallow, and
Yeah.
a lot of times like shallow
Well,
content.
none of it's deep, but yeah.
Yeah, none
okay.
of it's deep, but this is even more shallow than Bryrony. It's shallow content. It's intending to be funny, but it's sort of awkward. And it's, I don't want to say Andrew Wilson does the same kind of stuff, but it's personal conflict, right? People like that. They don't like abstractions. I'm probably the one that's really dragging down the channel because I'm like, okay, let's enter Allison world today, which is we're just going to dive into an entire universe of abstractions. And then everybody's
Well,
like,
because
what?
you're the worst thing about Honey Badger Radio.
Yeah, I am the worst thing. And it's because I think in huge abstractions. And it's hard for me to articulate them.
It's like you're like the prog rock of this channel. Like you're like Yes, or like, King Crimson or something. Like you're just too we're in a Floyd hole.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's
think about it. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going. And by the way, I was gonna get some aviators because I think they would work well with the mustache. I don't know what you guys think, but this guy is killing it for me.
Next meme.
Food is awful and eating sucks. I eat the bare minimum and as fast as possible. I hate eating. I hate feeling full. Men who think cooking makes them manly are cucks afraid of the cage desperately validate a non-existent masculinity. Imagine how stupid you have to be to find food entertaining. Literally embarrassing.
Fellas, is it gay to eat food? I mean,
No.
Okay.
And I cook. Does that make me gay?
I think this might be slightly wry.
Men make the best chefs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like he's got a point. Like, food shouldn't be necessarily. I mean, food is entertaining, but that shouldn't be the reason why you do it. You eat, right? I don't think he's saying. Honestly, this guy might be a gay nationalist. So I would not assume that
He wants
he
a gay
is.
nation.
Yeah, well, homo nationalist. It's sort of like white nationalists except homosexual.
So you want a country of only homosexuals?
I don't know. It's
Well,
a joke.
I mean,
Don't
you
try
can
to
have it.
confuse
You can have it, but it's not going to last long.
Well, they'll have sex with women purely to produce sons. will then be inculcated into the homo nationalist contempt for all things weak and feminine and indulgent, and everything will just
I
be
can probably find
murder
in the
and
Middle East that'll suit them very well.
murder and murder and militarism. So that's the homo nationalist credo.
Yeah, they can have California. They already have it.
Well, they certainly would change it. It would be different. It wouldn't be faggy. Am I allowed to say that? Probably not.
You just
okay.
did.
I did.
All right.
I made the mistake.
So
right.
yeah, I mean, this is one of those things maybe where they're basically going to try to make it's funny for people who claim that, like, you know, things like sex and gender cannot be defined. They sure are good at putting people in boxes based on those presuppositions. Like, oh, you're a man that likes to cook, you might be gay.
Literally embarrassing.
Fellas, is it gay to eat food? I mean, if it's phallic shaped, I think that's the thing that they always say. Like, oh, do you eat bananas? Gay. Oh, you eat a popsicle without a knife? Gay.
Who eats a popsicle with a knife? I guess that's supposed to be a joke, but
I guess so.
Okay.
But
You got.
so
What?
did he say that you don't eat a popsicle with a knife? Did
You
that make
eat
you
a
gay?
popsicle without a knife? Here, listen.
Without a knife? Gay.
You gotta break it in your hands, I think, into like little tiny pieces. That's the only way to eat a popsicle in a manly way.
No offense, but is there at any point do these two actually make any kind of substantive argument or observation?
No, it's a reaction to memes video.
Okay,
Like,
so do we have another
the person
time
who's
code?
I do have another time. I have the last time code. Did the person who sent you this video tell you what to expect in the video?
No.
So that so they're just sent it. So this is what we get. This is it. This is the payload of the video.
Well,
Are
you
the
know,
straights okay? Let's look at some memes.
honestly, it's not bad. Like, the thing is that when they do make substantive points, it makes my anger gland go into overdrive. So maybe it's okay to just have them bullshit for a bit, but not too
The whole
much.
video
because
is
it's getting
that
a little bit
bullshitting,
boring.
though. It's the whole thing. They look at memes. Do you want to just look at the memes?
Yeah, sure. Let's
go
look
to
at the memes.
Okay, so We'll just cut to
Cut
this
them
meme
out.
right here.
Holy stuff.
Fun is
Oh wait, what did he say? Capitalism, consumerism. What fun? Okay.
Holy stuff.
fun is a
Fun is the feminine concept. I'll just let her read it.
feminine concept. If it interests you, you likely have the low testosterone feminine hormones, whereas high testosterone masculine hormones make you derive fulfillment and positive emotion from progressing in the social hierarchy.
Yeah. I think men do have a sense of fun. I'm not so sure you want to give fun to the women. I swear to God, this is homo nationalism. I would
Homo supremacy.
yeah, homo supremacy, homo nationalism, some kind of
He is the Magneto of gay people.
yes. Oh man,
Okay, let's see what
it's
he has
sort
to
of
say.
amusing though.
Yeah, well.
Does he think that Einstein was feminine?
Apparently, he thinks that every person
Einstein
is feminine because
was climbing that greased ladder of physics. You know,
Was it grease
He-
with
he was
baby
getting-
oil?
he was climbing the ziggurat, the physics ziggurat. Like, you know, how can you say that he wasn't trying? Well, I don't think he necessarily was trying, but that's the thing. You know, it's truly masculine to climb the social hierarchy while not appearing to do so.
Yeah.
And why is it that we're only talking about men? Do they ever talk about women and the strange crap they get up to?
What was that?
I said, why aren't we? He's talking about straights. Are you now getting sucked into the
Readers. Well, I have to look at the chat to see if any like super chats go through or whatever.
Yeah. None have. Guys, send in those super chats and super chows. I think we do have one coming through. It might be
I
stuck.
did get a super chow. I just put it
Yeah.
up.
Well, what I was saying is that they're talking about men. Do they bring up women at any point, or are the only straights men?
I think it's the straights are just men. Okay, Great Indoors gives us $5 super chat. Thank you. And says, if you're going to rank online feminists on a scale of blood boiling, I'd suggest you start with the Guardian bot Arwa Madawi. She's my favorite. Or if you want, Uwu Madawi or Mommy Madawi, for she, despite all of her efforts, never seems to ruffle any feathers with anyone at HBR. She just seems to generate a whole bag of lulls and kecks. She is a lull printer. Lull
Some
printer
feminists
go
are just
burr.
hilarious.
She's funny because her job is to find ways to, her job is to find the patriarchy in anything. She literally has, her column is called The Week in Patriarchy. Arwa Madawi, and she basically she's English, so it's really easy. She goes in to whatever's going on. She writes an opinion piece, runs it through ChatGPT or something probably, and then spits out an article, and she gets to do it every week. I don't know if she makes any money, but it's hilarious because it's like watching them reach, you know? So
yeah, and they're all like somebody said in the chat, you can't criticize the straight women because it'll be misogyny. Yep, they always go for the scapegoat. For some reason, the one group of people that everybody can shit on is the one group of people in power, supposedly. You'd think that if you were in power, the first thing you do would be to be like, yeah, people in power have done throughout history, which is to stop people from shitting on them. You know, you go to like some tin pot dictatorship in Eastern Asia, and what's the one thing you can't say? You know, anything against the man or the woman in power or the women in power. You can't do it. You go back in time. Communist you can't say anything because against the person in power. You know, you go dictatorship in South America. Nope, you're not allowed to say anything against the people in power.
Against the party, right?
Against the party. Nope. And in history, aristocracy, were you allowed to slander the king or the queen or the aristocrat? No, you were not.
Only
it's probably a capital offense, considered treason. But we are in the most remarkable era of human history in which the group of people in power, according to the feminists, is the one group that you can say whatever you want. Kick in the face, kick in the balls, kick in the knees, do whatever you want to them, right? Say whatever you want, smear them in any way, accuse them of anything, and it's just free game. Isn't that astounding? It's quite a world we live in today, don't we? It's like human nature just stopped in the 1960s. Because usually, again, the first thing that people in power do, unless maybe they have principles and integrity, but if they don't, which is feminists say men don't have principles or integrity, the first thing they do when they're in power is they prevent anybody from talking shit about them. Men didn't do that. I wonder why. I wonder what's not fitting in that. Okay.
All right.
Let's keep going.
So this is a comic of two people. This woman who is very angry and says, I must have been blind and deaf to marry you. And this guy is ruffling up her hair and says, see what gruesome diseases I've saved you from?
It's not ruffling her hair. He's putting a sock on her head.
Is he putting a sock on her head? I couldn't even tell.
His socks are everywhere. There's socks on the cat.
There are socks everywhere. Yeah.
So, okay, should we get their opinion on this meme or?
I think that's a joke. Like,
yeah, it is obviously a joke, but
it's like
this is
Howard Hughes, the guy, the millionaire who was crazy.
Yeah.
This must be AI.
I don't know. I mean, it looks a little. No, I don't think it is. It looks a little too human, flawed to be AI. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, but where's the joke? I mean, really, the problem with this meme.
These are all feminist memes, Allison. They're not funny. That's why there have been no laughs, because they're feminist memes.
So they're making
So-
memes about how awful men are, and then they're turning around and saying, "Oh, look at how bad men are," based on, again, a fictionalized portrayal of men. Oh, good grief!
Yeah, yeah, this is not good. It's just not. Even this segment is really short. It's like they couldn't even go anywhere with it. Okay, let's jump ahead to the next one.
She says, it's all like one long day, nothing new happens. And he said, well, you could sleep on the couch tonight for a change.
Oh, ooh.
Really? Really?
She says,
I mean, okay. Like these are almost like, is this loss? These are completely like no context.
Oh, so Mini Moon has responded. This platform has limited characters to type with. Like I said, it's kind of impossible to have a substantial discussion on every little thing you all are talking about. Being anti-woman doesn't make you pro-man. Okay, so she essentially said we lack media literacy. We're not responding to these people correctly. I don't know what the hell she wants us to respond to here with this one. And she won't substantiate it. Like, she can't even give us a sentence of what we're not responding to. One summed up sentence. No. But she insists she has greater media literacy than all of us. And as we all know, in storytelling, it's telling your audience that's the real powerful way of convincing them of something, not showing. Oh, man. And then she accuses, you know what? I am anti-woman. I'll come out there right now. Whatever our society has defined women as being, it sucks. Right? Women are basically, you don't even need the word women. We don't. We can get rid of the word woman. We don't need it. We don't need it in our society. Just replace it with the word victim. It's more accurate. Victim. Right? You say, I am anti-woman. What you mean is I am anti-victim. Actually, what you mean is I'm anti-associating women with victimhood. You're damn right I don't like that. All right, let's, I'm done with the
let's keep
super chat.
going.
The super special
it's
chat.
all like
Oh,
one long day, nothing new happens. And he said, well, you could sleep on the couch tonight for a change.
Oh, ooh, brr, brr, brr. Reversing the
Yeah.
gender roles. Get it? Because normally it's the fella that sleeps on the couch. Am I right, gang?
This is a great
Well-
role reversal, obviously.
Wow.
Gender roles. We're fighting
So
gender
are we
roles.
laughing at coercive control here? Usually it's the man being abused. God, these are progressives? I think
yes.
they have gigantic blind spots.
This is not funny. I have nothing to add.
No.
Saying, gave a talk at Oxford. Exciting.
It's like it tastes like baking soda. That's what it tastes like. Not that I know what that tastes like, but
Saying, gave a talk at Oxford. Exciting. And met some emotional support alpacas. More exciting. And she's
Aw.
just standing there with her alpacas and her cute.
is that a meme?
Yeah.
No, that's
No,
just
no,
a
it's
social
probably
media
some-
post.
Probably some guy responded to this with annoyance.
I have a feeling this isn't going to go anywhere, but okay.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the alpacas are cute. They're very lovely looking creatures. Cats love eating them.
Okay.
My cats in particular love alpaca meat.
Cute little
So-
gray suit, and she looks real cute. And then this guy quote tweeted her and said, the male urge to marry a woman like this and stop her from wearing men's clothing permanently.
Okay. That was good, but that was because
Yeah.
it was a dude saying something funny. The male
Come on.
urge to marry a woman like this and stop her from wearing men's clothing permanently.
Get her in a sundress and a bunch of
Oh,
alpacas and chickens.
She probably looked really good in a sundress. That got me. I didn't expect it.
That's
Thank
good.
you, Ambassador. Thank you, sir. That was good. I know these people are gonna get triggered by that, but I just wanted to get the laugh out.
Oh, Minnie
All right.
Moon says it's not about responding, it's about understanding. I don't think you understand what the word understand means. It doesn't mean agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you understand that, can you, Minnie Moon, give a criticism of the concepts that these lovely ladies have elaborated to a substantive degree? like the concepts that they've presented, their hypotheses. Can you give me a constructive criticism of anything that these ladies have offered? That would mean that you understand what they're saying without agreeing with it. I wonder if you can do that. I doubt it. Okay. Let's consider.
I will say
I'm not sure.
that is a male urge. I will say that. I got Lindsay wearing dresses now, but she loves it. She loves it. Okay, so let's keep going.
That's quite a violent statement.
That's a violent statement. Oh my God! Wait. No, he did not just say that. That is a violent statement. Wow, this is amazing.
And then this guy quote tweeted her and said, "The male urge to marry a woman like this and stop her from wearing men's clothing permanently."
That's quite a violent statement.
Insane is what that is.
Men's clothing?
Like, she's wearing a suit, bro.
She's wearing a suit that is buttoned differently than a man's suit.
Yeah, it's a
that is
suit that
shaped
is
differently.
tailored
Have
to
you
women.
never seen The Office when Michael Scott grabs a suit out of a bin and thinks he's getting a big sale, and then he wears it and realizes,
Oh my God! Shut up with your. I watch TV a lot. Okay, let's listen to the rest.
it's shapely quite a bit on the booty, has no pockets, and is also for women.
Yeah.
This is women's clothing.
But, you know, apparently she's wearing men's clothing, and it's the masculine urge.
But wait a minute. Okay, so if there is suits for women and they make your butt shapely if you're a woman, then is that not sexist because it's still gendered clothing? Shouldn't we eliminate all barriers? Should we break all of it down? We still have so much more liberating to do. Allison,
I thought it was going to be something nasty, like
no, but it was funny. I thought it was funny.
it was
but
funny and it was cute. And it was
they think it's violence, Allison. It's
well, of course, it came from a woman, or sorry, from a man. They reduce women down to victims and men down to villains. So everything men do is violent in some capacity.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Is there masculine urge? The male
masculine urge to marry her immediately, so that way she becomes his property, and then he can decide whatever she does.
Since it's a male
No, that's what he means. So remember, these people are against property. They think that's violence.
urge. Is that something that you're feeling when you are looking at a woman in a suit? You're like, damn, my man brain says I must marry her immediately to change what she
No.
wears.
You need to actually provide him with a challenge. He needs to look at a woman that does not comply with being cast as a victim. And then let's see what he does. That's a real challenge. I've seen what some male feminists do to women who decide not to play the role that they assign them. It's not necessarily a pretty thing.
Well, first of all, he's describing it as an urge, which means he's not planning on acting on it, but he's acknowledging that it's there. The other thing is that I think that if you really want to like get technical, there are women who would probably look really attractive in women's clothing. And that's what he's saying. She's a good looking woman, but she'd be so much hotter if she was wearing women's clothing. Now, of course, feminists will say, well, you have no right to, I don't know, have that expectation. Yes, he does. You don't know what a right is. He can have that expectation. Doesn't mean that he's entitled to anything. But he's not saying that he's entitled to anything. He's just saying this. It's basically like a little bit of a, snappy, clever, witty statement about a photograph of a woman wearing a pantsuit, essentially. So, anyway.
Okay.
Teal Deer says the straw man's cousin, not a lie, but quote, I'm going to say something dumb about your position. Look everyone at how dumb I think he is by implying he might believe this thing. End quote. Yes. He's joking. And I thought it was effective. It got a chuckle out of me. So he wins, you lose. You're not funny. And you're humorless and you can see it. Like, look at that's a face of pain on the inside. She's dying on the inside.
Well, she thinks we need new pronouns because the victims don't deserve she or her. Vic, the victim, of course she's dying or Vic is dying on the inside. Vic does not know Vic's self outside of how Vic is acted upon by others who exist. Vic does not. I know, I just made that totally confusing.
Yeah.
Just roll with it. Let's keep going.
All right. Well, let's see if she says anything else about this.
Because I don't think it is for you or most men, I would argue.
Oh, another
I
bio
got tired
truth.
reading this. I was excited for a video and I read this. Now I'm sad.
That's fair.
A son's.
Oh God. Okay. Here's another meme.
So basically, this is shit on men hour, not
Yeah. It's not about the straights. It's about straight men,
yeah.
or just men, but straight men particularly.
Well, gay men are the
His
straight
first
men
hero.
of men.
What?
Gay men are the white men of gay people.
Yes.
Gay men
I was
are the
excited
straight
for a
men
video
of
and I
men.
read this. Now I'm sad.
That's fair.
A son's first hero. Dad. A daughter's first. No. No.
Yeah,
No.
you
This
mean
is-
ironically.
I hate that.
Yeah.
so-
Why? Because you'll never be a father?
A son's first hero, a daughter's first love, is what it says on the.
I hate that so
Oh,
much.
man.
Okay. You know that parents love their children, and their children generally love their parents. What is the problem with that?
Daddy issues. Daddy
Uh,
alert. Daddy issues alert. That's why I hate my dad. I wonder if he's gonna say it. I hate my dad. If you're watching this, Dad, I hate you.
mm,
You
Maybe.
ruined my life, but I'm actually really happy in this new identity that I've selected for myself. But you ruined my life, but I'm happy because I selected this. I did this. I am the god of my own life, and I've done this to myself. But I hate
Mm.
you for it.
So much.
Yeah, I just made a video about this specific topic, so it's pretty
Okay, me.
on brand, on topic for the moment, because
About daddy's girls.
I need these people to stop doing this different thing. If you're treating your child differently in like the way you love them because of their gender, you're giving me real weird, creepy vibes, and I'm gonna need you to like stop it.
You most definitely treat children differently. Like you advocate. Yeah. We can't. This is the great irony of all this. We have this cute little poster. Dad is the son's first hero and the daughter's first love. And she's like, oh, you can't treat children differently because of the gender. But you can take boys aside and tell them they have nothing of worth, that they're actually flawed girls, that patriarchy forces them to suppress their femininity, and they need to take all responsibility for sexual violence and domestic assault against adult women. You can do that. You can take a boy aside and distrush his sense of self and self-worth. And you can also constantly empower women based on a conjecture about reality that has never been proven. So we can constantly empower girls. So you can treat boys differently. You make boys take responsibility, and you constantly say that girls need to be empowered. You are treating the sexes differently. But it's terrible to do it in a positive way if you're a dad. It's totally justified to do it in a destructive way if you're a gender ideologue. Okay. Hypocrisy.
Yeah. So she doesn't understand what love is. I mean, that's all I was gonna say about that. Because if you read the word love and you think it's sexual, something's wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. Because that's what she's trying to suggest, is that, like, the daddy's girl thing, about his daughter. Oh, she's got to make that something weird. She's making it weird by claiming it's weird. But that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to pathologize fathers and make them seem dangerous to their children. And that's because you don't know what love is. You don't understand it. You probably don't know your dad either. I hate to tell you. Your mom probably fucked a loser or kept you away from him, and he wanted to be in your life. So I know that probably burns, but that's what I think.
And there is.
This is, I don't even know.
They're
What?
at war with heterosexuality. There is a difference. Like, girls and boys relate to their fathers and their mothers differently. No, they're not. Not everyone. Like, people are not a gender neutral parental unit. Neither are children gender neutral units. much as you are trying to force it. And you know what's funny is that they aren't trying to force it. What they're trying to force is their vision of sex differences.
Yes.
Their vision. Because they sure as hell don't ever question, well, at what generation of young men or boys do we stop saying that they're responsible for everything bad in the world, all the violence? At what generation do we stop? Does the patriarchal original sin stop being taught to boys? Yeah. You guys are not enlightened. You're not hovering above the rest of us. You just want to teach your version of strict gender roles. Well, you've been able to for several generations now. How is society looking? You've done it. You have claimed the center of the chessboard when it comes to how people view the relationship between men and women. How's society looking? How is the relationship looking? How's the birth rate looking? How's the marriage rate looking? How's our economic future looking? Yeah, you've done a great job. And you don't give me this shit about, oh, we're going to get rid of gender. We're going to get rid of the binary. Bullshit. It's still the people who are expected to take responsibility, men and boys, to be blamed, to be scapegoated, to be seen as more violent, and everybody else. You still have a gender binary. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Next meme.
This is, I don't even know what this is, a vehicle of some description, and it's got acrostics for husband and wife. So husband stands for handsome, useful, smart, but at night, dangerous. And wife stands for without information, fight every time. And I have some concern.
What?
Oh, God.
Without information, fight every time.
And this looks like it's from India.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this India or Asia
Yeah.
somewhere? So are we going to...
Does she have a problem with... Does she even bring up any memes that target men? No. Because she only sees women as victims. And then she has the audacity to say everybody else is applying a strict gender role.
Are these memes?
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of these are just like...
They're really
photographs.
freaking lame.
Very funny, but at night dangerous. Okay. So let's see. She's going to like... Now they're getting really dark.
Stands for without information, fight every time. And I have some concerns, largely about why is a husband dangerous at night? What's going on there?
Because he's expected
why
to
are
take
we-
care of her and protect her.
Yeah, it's probably because if there's like a noise downstairs, guess who's got to go down there and be dangerous? Not the woman, not the wife. This is literally talking about a husband and wife dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
I'm guessing that this is going to be interpreted in the worst way possible because women have to be victims. I'm just going to make a prediction. She's going to reinterpret this in a way that makes women victims.
Yep. Oh, wow. That's a stretch, Allison. I don't know. That seems like a bold strategy. Let's see how
find out. I'm calling it.
All husbands are Batman.
At night. Only at night.
In the day, they're useful and smart, and at night, they are not.
Night. What reminds me, whatever happened to Parking Lot Batman? We need somebody put out the Parking Lot Batman signal because we need to find more videos of white knighting men, but they don't really seem to be as common because that was what Parking Lot Batman was when we did that way back in the day. Because men are not doing that anymore, so that's kind of interesting. Parking Lot Batman is no longer with us. Okay, anyway.
Not useful or smart, but they are or handsome. They're not handsome, useful, or smart at nighttime. Just dangerous.
Just Batman. Wife, though. Wife could never be Batman.
Oh,
Because wife doesn't spell Batman. Why isn't the B in husband Batman? Batman at night dangerous. That would have been so much better.
It would have been funnier.
They're not wrong. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Slightly concerning.
Yep.
It would have been funnier instead of just slightly concerning.
Why?
There's no B in wife, so.
I mean, wife.
Why is it concerning?
There's a B in bitch. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just sitting there. It
No.
was just sitting there on
I
the
know
table.
you had to.
It was just there, spread eagle. I couldn't help myself. That's why I had to. Anyway.
Okay.
Why?
Wonder Woman is for everyone. Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
Done.
Perfect. That's so much better. I think that is what WIFE stands for, actually.
We can fix them, Queer Kiwi. One meme at a time. We will do this.
Oh God, this is so cringe.
Yeah.
It's killing me. I'm dying inside. Okay, let me. Where?
Slightly concerning, because I can imagine that a woman is a victim of this silly thing that was put on somebody's. He probably has to peddle people around for a living. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
It's like a rickshaw. In order to feed his wife. I think he gets one sexist.
Demerit?
No demerits. I think he gets to have one sexist meme on his rickshaw.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and that's the real critical thing. Not that this man probably makes money off of peddling people around.
I don't even think it's sexist. I mean, it's a little bit incoherent.
This is really hilarious. Because all of these people are communists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet they don't notice how all class stuff has been subsumed into gender.
Yeah, well, it always does.
Yeah, it just gets subsumed. Like it's all consumed by gender and intersectionality. All of the class analysis is subsumed into that. It's turned into a fart.
Well, because there's because to them, they would say that all of the ways that communism has been sort of repurposed or reorganized is to take the concept of capital and reframe it. So being straight is a form of capital. Being male or masculinity itself
is the ultimate
is
form
like
of
an ultimate form of capital. Exactly.
That neutralizes
and it
all
has
others.
to be flattened. So this is like that's what they do. They engage in the dialectic to unravel everything, remove all meaning, and call everything they don't like capital without saying it explicitly. But that's the framing they operate under.
But isn't it interesting that the full focus gets orientated towards men as opposed to presumably a system in which that isn't enabling upward mobility so that people can attain some kind of quality of life. And I agree. Like our system, it's fucked. It's fucked in many cases because of out of control government spending and the government picking winners and losers among corporations and government intervention into the economy. Yeah, there's no longer a meritocracy. It's now nepotism. It's who you know. And that's not fair. But that's not the critique that they're interested in. It's just like, let's go shit on men some more. Because, we live in a society with no upward mobility anymore, but at least we can shit on men, right? At least we can just keep freaking shaming and feeling superior to men. That makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? God damn. As long as a society has a scapegoat, it can do whatever it wants.
All right, let's get to the last time code, I think.
Oh no. Oh no, he's a spreadsheet guy.
This is one I saw on Twitter today.
Years of data to 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, they divorced. For sure divorced. Or he died.
Absolutely. I came across this.
In 2017?
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy sent let me see.
Saw on Twitter today.
Okay, man sends wife a spreadsheet of all the times she denied him sex. And it starts in 2014. And there's like
not denied. She refused.
She denied him sex.
Yeah, the way they're
but it's being reframed. Yeah.
Yeah, I defy that framing. She refused to have sex with him. So she rejected him. Man sends wife a spreadsheet of all the times she rejected him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's not get denied because there was she's not like a deposit, like a bank account that he can
The card
take
comes
money out of.
back.
Yeah, that's not the way this is being framed.
E.J. Dixon.
And I remember this.
Is this
because-
real? Do you remember this?
Yeah, this
I
is
do
real.
kinda
But I
remember
remember
this.
it
I do
because
kinda
he was
remember this.
trying to make the argument. Like she was saying, "Oh, I have sex every time you ask," and he's like, "No, you don't." And being rejected like this can be very exhausting and disheartening and harmful to, feeling good about yourself. That was what this was about. But of course, these two vultures find an opportunity to shit on men again by reframing this. Who the hell leaked this to the public, by the way?
No idea.
Like if it was the wife,
Probably the
that's
wife. Yeah,
despicable.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised.
Okay.
So that's the one, and let's just keep going.
The
Yeah.
spreadsheet guy.
This is one I saw on Twitter today. This
Years
is
of data to 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, they divorced. For sure divorced. Or he died.
Absolutely. I
Hopefully
came
the
across
latter
this. I
in
opened
Minecraft.
Twitter today to this. This was the first thing I saw.
So he basically said he hopes the guy died because he made
Yeah.
a list of times
Yeah.
his wife rejected.
And this is the other thing, like that we were talking about that
It's almost like commies
trad
are
woman-
violent and they'll kill you. Go
that
ahead.
trad woman who published this thing about her husband owns her body without considering any kind of blowback to her husband. Wife may have published this Excel document without considering that now her husband gets to be sexually humiliated by two colorful vultures on YouTube.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's listen to these
All right.
people enjoy this man's sexual humiliation.
I opened Twitter this morning. That's fun. Love that. It was a great start to my day. Perfect start to my morning.
Where are you on
You
Twitter?
are the victim
I
of
love
this,
Twitter.
are you?
I don't love Twitter. I use Twitter. I'm not usually on my actual main account. I use Twitter for fandom stuff.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. I like that.
I use it for my favorite books and my K-pop stuff. I don't touch anything else. It's away from me. But sometimes shit like
can't.
this does make it onto my timeline.
I can't hate on that. But yeah, ever since
11 years ago on
Elon
Reddit.
Muskie guy
Neil
took
Deere
over.
found out that this was a post 11 years ago on Reddit. And of course, the feminists are still talking about it to this day.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. That post is over 10 years old. It came out in 2014, or at least the earliest date on there is 2014. So that's 11 years old. And they just found it. All right. Let's keep going.
It's not amazing.
Everything that gets promoted up the timeline is like his tweets, and then
Yeah.
also Crypto Bros and anybody
Yeah.
that pays $10 a month for a badge. Lame. And also every single reply to every meme ever is just another meme instead of people talking about it. Remember
Yeah.
when upvoting, liking something, pushed you up the reply list so that way the thing
Yeah.
under the thing was also very funny?
Yeah.
Ugh, now it's not.
Yeah.
Now
And
it's,
the
"Look
search,
at my
the
ad.
search
I sell
function is
crypto.
fucked
And also
too.
here's an AI video of Joe Biden selling you crypto, and he says it's great."
It's horrible.
It's not that
horrible.
bad. Yeah, you just don't like it because you guys don't have complete reign like you used to.
More.
You
Yeah.
don't control it.
You don't
Let's
have
be
Crash
honest.
Override Network to kick everybody off that doesn't agree with you. So, I
Yep.
mean, say what you want about X, but I think it's better than it was. I think it, could be even better, but it's definitely better than it was when Jack Dorsey was running it. So I guess you just, like I said, well, Blue Sky, funny thing about Blue Sky, which is where these people may be on, I don't know if they're going to say it, but Blue Sky has become the alternative, right? And
Mhm.
it appears that Blue Sky is exactly the thing that I have been saying about leftists forever, which is essentially a constantly shrinking drain of people excluding other people because they're not pure
Mhm.
enough. And so Blue Sky has been bleeding people because they fall into a spiral of hatred and they start pushing people out. And I think it was like Mark Cuban, who's like just some, I don't know, like some political commentator or politician or something. I don't give a shit. But I know who he is. He looks like Rosie O'Donnell now. But he was on Blue Sky and he was like, he's just like this normal like politician guy that happens to be like a Democrat or whatever. But his views were just like completely wrong. Like the people in Blue Sky are it's like a self-radicalization hole. And it's funny because they all hate Twitter but they have created like the new Reddit in Blue Sky. So it's just funny.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the last one.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to see the rest of that, but that's basically
Not
there's
really.
like one. Yeah, that's basically the last one. Yeah.
Ah, good grief. So basically what they mean by "are the straights okay" is, are straight men, let's insult straight men. Let's shit on straight
Yeah,
men.
it's not even about being okay. It's just
Yeah, let's just
shit on
like,
straight
oh, men have a weakness. It's time to get the knives out. Let's start sharpening the knives because we're so compassionate. And like I said to a communist on Twitter, the big impediment to implementing communism is that nobody wants to give men free stuff. So it's never going to happen, because no one wants to give men free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, probably.
Also, there's no such thing as free stuff.
Yeah, there is no such thing as free stuff. Yeah, basically what you'd be doing is taking it away from the men to give it back to them.
Yeah, but you'd rather just give it to the women, which was what we already do.
Yeah.
Just take that and
we already have as much communism as will ever be. Let's be honest. And let's also be honest. The people who espouse it in the government, they do it because they want to make lots of money. As directors of all the distribution programs. So, all of you are motivated by money, right? Even the communists are motivated by money. And that's it.
Well, that guy's
everybody's a capitalist, even the communists. All right, let's I know that's a really strange thing to say, so maybe no, they all like money. That's why they get into the government. It's the easiest way to make money. They get into the government and they say, give me money to advocate for, I don't know, like the left brain hemisphere, like the left brain hemisphere of this disadvantaged little person who's a trans Toyota, like the smallest unit that they have to advocate for, which means they have the least amount of oversight over their advocacy. They have so that's the ideal, right? You find the smallest group of people to advocate for. That means you have the least oversight over your advocacy, the least feedback, right? If you could find deaf mutes with no brains, trans deaf mutes who have no brain function, that's what you do. You advocate for them. They'll never disagree with you. They'll never give you negative feedback, and nobody can argue with it. Because if you do, you just hate those people, right? So that's it. You're set for life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good grief. All right, that's the problem with communism. People are too greedy. Even the communists, especially the communists. All right, so I guess, do you have anything further to say? Disagree with my analysis of communism?
No, these people are cringe.
That's this is sort of cringe.
Thanks, Richard. I hate it. I know it's Richard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Richard. It was a while back, so he's got a whole bunch of stuff.
I've got stuff too. It's a little bit.
Yeah, we can do other stuff, like we don't always have to do the cringe. I mean, the last bit was not that bad. It wasn't making me chew nails. It was just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this sort of ended with a queef rather than an explosion of misandry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, kind of, I don't know, old hat.
Okay, so if you want to send us a message, feedthebadger.com/justthetip. Support the show, feedthebadger.com/support. Consider coming out for the event in Calgary, September 13th. And if you want more details, feedthebadger.com/events. It's, it's, if you feel like isolated in this stuff, well, I often do, it does really help to get out and meet people who want to live in a world where we don't believe the fundamental currency between men and women is oppression. Believe me, it's a real weight off your mind to meet other people who realize that that's extremism. And maybe before we started asserting it throughout all of our institutions, we might have, spent a moment proving whether or not it's true or false, because that hasn't even happened. So it's good to meet people who agree with that. You feel like you're sane. If you want to experience that, go to feedthebadger.com/events. Either put a few shekels in the hat. I'll be trying to set up something virtual for anybody who supports. So that's what that's there for. Or come and join us, because it's I'm still a little bit like running off of last year's and just being able to talk to people without in person, without that feeling of we have a fundamental disagreement of how reality is that you get with a lot of people. I don't know if other people have experienced that. I certainly do. So anyway, feedthebadger.com/event to find out more about that events. All right. Brian, you want to take it away? If you have nothing further to say?
Nope. No, I'm good. I think I said everything I wanted to say. So, all right. Well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we talked about on the show today. And please, please, please share this video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of Maintaining Frame, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.